Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. I got an email yesterday from one of my subscribers, and I would like to go ahead and read that email for all of you and try to answer this person's question in a way that's helpful to most of my subscribers. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright. Hey Jason, lately I have been stressed due to real life problems and I have lost a lot of strength in the gym suddenly. Is it possible that stress completely unrelated to the gym can cause strength loss? Thanks. Emotional stress can absolutely affect your central nervous system fatigue and contribute to signs of overtraining or chronic overreaching. Yes, it is absolutely possible and it does happen. This is one reason that a lot of professional athletes and their coaches really go out of their way to remove outside stressors. This is one of the reasons why most of your top athletes oftentimes have limited social lives, like gold medalists. They don't have other jobs outside of it. They don't have outside stressors because those outside stressors can make the difference between being number one in the world or being number 20. So yeah, it absolutely matters, and it does impact your ability to overload yourself. And this is where it gets tricky because for a lot of people, the training itself can de-stress you. It is used as a form of stress relief. And I know this very, very well because for me, I had a really, really bad childhood. I'm not going to go into the details, but it was pretty bad. And accordingly, as a young man and as a teenager, I was very, very angry as a result of some things in my childhood. And so for me, what I found is that the weightlifting was very therapeutic. It was a way for me to get that anger out and channel it into something productive rather than unleash it on other people, because by that time I already had earned my first black belt and was working on my second, and I still had a temper problem, so this was not a good thing. But I found that for me, I could get everything out of my system in the weight room and then spend 2 or 3 days completely unstressed, no chance that I was going to get angry, hit somebody, or anything like that. So for me, it was a form of stress relief and therapeutic. And for a lot of people, the lifting is a form of stress relief. The problem is you have to balance that out, because if you're dealing with a lot of outside stress and emotional stress, and then you're putting everything into the weight room, you can far more easily reach a state of chronic overreaching. And so what you need to do, if you're using it as a form of stress relief, or if you are very stressed, you may need to reduce your workload slightly, cut your volume back, cut one set out of all of your main lifts, or cut some of your excessive accessory workout. You're going to need to watch for signs of overreaching and deload more often, because you're going to reach that state more easily. You need to pay more attention to deloads. You might need to schedule deloads more often than your actual program calls for. The other thing is you need to try to focus on, if it's something that you cannot remove from your life, because let's say your stress is something like your mother is dying of cancer or something that you cannot do anything about, start cutting out the other stressors out of your life to go with it. Start removing other stressful things from your life. Get out of stressful relationships. If you have a girlfriend who stresses you out, you might want to cut her out. If you have friends who cause you stress, you might want to distance yourself from them. Distance yourself from these things. If your job is too stressful, you might want to consider changing careers. And going back to that, stress is the #1 killer. Stressful jobs kill people. And fine, if you're making 6 figures a year, if you're making $100,000 a year and you have a stressful job, then by all means do what you have to do. But if you have a job that stresses you out and you only make $32,000 a year, that's not worth dying of a heart attack at 40 years old. So I would suggest changing careers. Find something less stressful if you're not making a lot of money to justify it. But cut those stressors out of your life. Learn to find things outside of the gym too to reduce stress, because if you're in a heightened state like that and you try to train every day to get it out of your system, you're going to end up beating your body up. You're going to end up having a breakdown. So learn to just meditate, learn to relax, learn to find things to help you just let go. Learn to practice breathing exercises, learn to do things like biofeedback or exercises where you tighten and release all the muscles in your body systematically while you're laying in bed. Or, even if you can afford it, go invest in deep tissue massages. Anything to help reduce stress that won't overtax your system is going to be helpful if you're going through a very stressful time. And this is how you combine these things together, and this is how you make it work and still allow you to use the training to reduce your stress levels without pushing yourself beyond the limits. You've got to balance these things out. You got to find balance in your life between your stress, your training, your goals, your social life, your career. And it's not always easy. A lot of times it can be a balancing act, but you just have to find that middle ground sometimes to make it all work. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.